Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back. How you doing? I actually have one of my friends, Esther. She always, like, the way she starts the conversation is like, hey, how you doing? I was like, Esther, you know, I never spoke in that way. I love the way you kind of like open up a conversation like that. She's like, yeah, how you doing? So that's gonna be my new line. How you doing? I hope you guys are doing great. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys a I'll keep you posted video. So I started this series on my channel about 2-ish months ago. I'll have my playlist down below in the description box. It's where I kind of get back to you guys on products that I've been using for at least 2 weeks or more. This can go from hair care to skincare to makeup, but mainly makeup. I got inspired by making these videos by myself because I always say I'll keep you posted and I never ever do. And I know how annoying that is because it's like, okay, can you get like let me know? So here I am letting you know. I will have all of these goods linked down below in the description box if you guys want to purchase these for yourselves. But yeah, if I like it, I'll let you know. Also, if I purchase it, I'll let you know. If I didn't purchase it, I'll let you know. And if I hate something or don't really like something or it didn't work out for me, then of course I will keep you posted and let you know why, so you don't have to spend your money on that. But I have everything here in this like cut up Pixi box that I specifically cut up for this. I need to get organizers, I think. But yeah, I'm really excited to share with you guys everything. We have 15 goodies to go through, so let's get started. First up, I have this right here. This is from Soap & Glory. It's the Rush Shower Sensational Dry Shampoo. I love how they always have like that play on words. Soap & Glory actually sent this over to me. I really love it. It's such a nice dry shampoo. I feel like it really just fluffs up the hair amazingly. It adds a lot of volume and a lot of like texture. So I feel like if your hair is usually very like fine and there isn't a lot of like oomph to it, this could definitely add a lot. It also does help, of course, with oils. I don't necessarily have a really oily hair. I have very dry hair, but occasionally I will have oily hair, and I find that this is perfect. In addition to that, this smells like purified heaven. I need to find a body mist that smells like this. I think that they might make it, so I have to pick it up. But yeah, it is so good. A+. Next up, I have this right here from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is the Glow Gleam highlighter palette. This right here I did purchase on my own from the e.l.f. Cosmetics website. In here we are getting 6 highlighters. So 3 that have more of like these geometrical patterns and then 3 that don't necessarily have that. Love the whole vibe. Love how this looks. Love the packaging. Very cute. Love e.l.f. However, this is a definite no for me. I think that this was maybe around the $8 or $10 price tag. Definitely not cheaper than $5, I know. I remember. But yeah, I would say that the best way I would be able to describe this is that it kind of has like, listen, like a very almost cardboard like feel. It's very powdery, pretty chalky, and it goes onto the skin and you will get color, but I feel like it almost kind of sits on the skin. You can almost see like those dry kind of particles on there, you know, especially if you have dry skin. Dry on dry, I feel like it just doesn't work. Maybe if you have oily skin, this will, because it's so dry, it will kind of just sink in and will look good. But in my experience, I really did not enjoy this. With e.l.f. kind of like amping up their game, this just doesn't fall into that category of like amazing vibes, you know. I know this came out like maybe a year ago, so maybe they were just like starting new things then. But yeah, I would definitely not recommend this, especially considering that we have so many other drugstore amazing alternatives for highlighters that are amazing. Did I just say that? Like, basically, because we have so many like highlighters in the drugstore that are so good, I wouldn't recommend spending money on this one. Next, we have this right here from the Florence by Mills brand. This is a mascara. This is the Built to Lash mascara. I received this in Ipsy or BoxyCharm, which I paid for though. Really do not like this. I love that I'm reviewing so many mascaras in these I'll keep you posted videos because I feel like it's just a thing that so many people use. I would not recommend this. I think it's around the $20-something price tag. I love the packaging. I know that this brand is somewhat pretty hyped, but yeah, the wand is more of like a natural bristled wand, which is fine. I actually do prefer natural bristled wands, but this almost is too big to kind of get up all in there, even though it's not huge. But not only that, it really just doesn't do anything for the lashes. You know, I feel like if you're gonna spend like 20-something bucks, maybe spend it on something that you can kind of use in a very natural way, but it has the ability to also build up, so you kind of have a 2-in-1. And you know, there's more versatility with it. But yeah, with this one, I felt like it's gonna be an absolute no. Very disappointed. Next, we have this right here from Huda Beauty. This is the Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. This is a primer. I've been testing this out for a bit now because I've been on and off with it, and I was like, okay, I kind of like it, I don't really like it, and I kind of like it, I don't like it. I love the packaging. Firstly, it's in a mushy gushy packaging, smushy, and there is a pump to it, which makes it really easy to use. This came in the Huda Beauty advent calendar that I did purchase, right? I think it came in there, or maybe in Boxy or Ipsy. They didn't send it to me though, basically. But I like this. I didn't think it was, you know, 1 out of a million. Would I like necessarily tell you guys to run out and purchase it like right now? Probably not. I felt like it did create a really nice base. I wouldn't say it's necessarily super hydrating, but it's also not mattifying either. I want to say it's in the middle there. It is a little bit tacky when you apply it, which I don't necessarily love, but it doesn't take away from the foundation applying pretty nicely on top. So I liked this. I feel like it also prolongs the wear of your foundation, and it does look like nice under the skin. I also feel like it helps with filling in your pores, which is nice. I want to say if you have oily skin, you'd probably enjoy this more than dry. I felt like I need a little bit more moisture than just this alone, but I do like it and I will continue using it, and I think it's good. Not the ultimate best, but I think it's good. Next we have this right here from Soap & Glory. This is the Fab Pore Purifying Foam Cleanser. This right here is a cleanser that I purchased myself. So I mentioned this a few times, but I have one sister and she's kind of like bougie. You will just not see her go to the drugstore and pick up a drugstore cleanser. Like, it's not her speed, you know, which I can understand. I know a few people that just don't buy drugstore goods. I'm all around, you know, drugstore high-end luxury. But yeah, I do have this much left. You guys can see here that I really have been enjoying this and loving it a ton. So she basically started using it. She's like, hey, I found this recently and it's really good, you should get it. And I did, because I was like, it's not her type to talk about something like this, you know. So anyway, I just love this. It's an amazing drugstore cleanser. I find that you feel squeaky clean with it. It does not irritate my skin. I feel like it would be great for oily and or dry skin, because she has, I would say, more oily / normal. I definitely have drier skin, and I feel like it still makes my face like yummy after. It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel like I need something like right away to moisturize. It feels okay. And yeah, it feels almost very high-end to me. I don't have tons of drugstore like skincare recommendations, because if I'm not fully in love, I'm not gonna just talk about it because it's affordable. This right here, let me tell you, so good. I love it. You need it. It's amazing. Next up, we have this eyeshadow palette here from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is one I purchased on my own. I showcased it in my e.l.f. haul a little bit ago. It's the Rose Gold Nude palette. The reason why I picked this up was mainly because I really just wanted to try to get into more drugstore palettes so that I could see if it's good or if it's not. Let you guys know if it's good or if it's not. So yeah, that's mainly why I picked this up. Also, I loved the color story. I love the whole mauve tone, cool tone vibe that it provides. This palette has mainly matte, metallics, and satin finishes. Now, I will tell you, I always do factor in the price because I feel like it does play a huge role. Like, if this would be $40, I'd be like, no, there's so many other $40 palettes that are better. But because this is $10, I'm gonna speak about it in that kind of way. I will say it is worth it. It is worth the $10. I feel like it had a lot of versatility. The mattes were a little bit more on the drier side, a little bit chalky in a way, but they picked up really nicely on the brush. They blended out seamlessly. I didn't have a hard time at all, and there was no fallout really. With the metallics, I preferred to apply them with my finger, applied really nicely. I did have to go over like the spot a few times. With other palettes, I don't necessarily need to do that, but it didn't look heavy or thick on the eye. It still looked really good. And it also applies pretty nicely with like a more dense brush as well if you want to use that. But yeah, I would say overall it's pretty nice. Even though this is like a pretty mauve tone neutral palette, I was able to create somewhat different looks. You could tell they were kind of from the same family, but they still looked somewhat different on the eyes. So I really like this. I think it's cute. I'm curious to see what the other color stories have in store for me. But so far, this one right here is a yes for $10. I think it's pretty good. Next up, I have this right here from the Tula brand. This is the Signature Glow Refreshing and Brightening Face Mist. This right here was sent to me by Huda Beauty. I don't know if you guys can see here how much I have left, but I pretty much finished up like a quarter. You definitely do have to like shake this up. I love this. It is so nice on the skin. It really just gives you that like glow from within kind of vibe and look. I love the e.l.f. mist, and I mentioned that that was like one of my favorites, and it's really good also at kind of adding that like luminous look to the skin. If you are on a budget, the e.l.f. one is amazing, but if you're looking to spend a little bit more, this one does have something a bit extra to it. Like here it says it has a pearlescent glow, which I feel like maybe the e.l.f. one doesn't have that like pearlescent vibe, and this one kind of does, you know. So yeah, I've really been enjoying this a ton. It is so pretty on. I mainly use it like to set my makeup, and it just gives me like the perfect glow ever. If you have dry skin, you would fall in love. And I want to say even if you have oily skin, I think it just kind of like overall just adds a very lively look. So definite yes for me. Next up, we have this eyeshadow palette here from Huda Beauty. This is the Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette. This I got in the Huda Beauty advent calendar that I purchased on my own. But here is what the palette looks like. I am kind of late on the game with this one. I feel like it's been out for so long, but I just didn't have the opportunity or chance to pick it up. It includes a ton of mattes, some metallics, some satin shades, glittery type of shades. Everything in here is really, really beautiful. I found that when I used this, I always loved how the look came out. I think it's a really unique color story. I would never kind of think of putting these kind of shades together because I'm kind of like, I don't know, you know? But it really does work really well. You can go pretty dramatic with this palette, or you can go more neutral and light for like an everyday look. It's interesting, when I was wearing this in a few of my videos, I can see if like you guys click on the link of what I have on my eyes, and I have to say, I think that this was clicked on the most. Like, you guys loved the look, and I was like, wow. It was also such a like neutral look, which is great because you could do that with this as well, and I didn't think you guys would be head over heels, but apparently you were, which is kind of cute. The only thing I will say though is that these two shades here, they look more like a glittery tone shade, but they're actually more like a thinner glitter, so I would say that they would just be great as like lid toppers because it doesn't really adhere nicely on the eye, and it doesn't like cover up your lid. You can still see kind of through it in a way, but if you kind of pair it with like this and then put this on top, it works out well. Or even this and this, or this and this. Like, there's a lot of good mixing shades in here too, and overall I think it's really like a solid palette. Great formula, easy to work with. You feel good in this one, I have to say. One of my favorites from Huda Beauty for sure, because it also kind of takes me out of my comfort zone. And again, because like I didn't think I could do a lot with this, but then once I kind of got into it, I'm like, hey. Did you guys ever watch Young and Hungry? It is the cutest show on Netflix. It just puts you in a like good mood. So Yolanda, she's always like, hey, you know, so this is like such a like, hey palette. Let me tell you, it is so nice. Next up, I have this right here from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is the Lash It Loud mascara. I use this in a get ready with me video talking about my car. I realized after I watched that video, I said the word car at least like 3,000 times. And every other sentence like car, car. But yeah, I used it in that video if you guys want to see me, like if you want to see a demo on this. This is amazing. It's only $6. I purchased this on my own. It has a rubber bristled wand to it. It kind of reminds me of maybe like one of those Benefit mascaras. I forgot the name, but definitely more affordable, of course. It is pretty spiky and pretty pointy, but the way this makes my lashes look, see, with this mascara you can go more natural, but this builds up so amazingly. It knocks my socks off my feet every single time, and like I mentioned in the other video, it almost kind of gives you that highlight effect because it really goes to the base of the lashes, which a lot of mascaras I don't find do. Lasts the whole day, does not flake on me, it does not irritate my eyes. Sometimes my eyes get irritated if I have mascara on for a long period of time. I did not have that with this. It has definitely been like my go-to for a little bit now. It is so good. You need this, you need this, you need it for $6. Amazing. Next up, I have this right here from The Ordinary. This is the AHA 30% plus BHA 2% peeling solution. I love that this looks like blood. I think it's the coolest thing ever. It kind of just like is a little bit scary but cool at the same time. This is only like $6. One of my subscribers, Angela, was like, Liora, you need to have this in your life. So I purchased it a little bit ago, but I recently started using it now. And then when I showed this in one of my hauls, like legit, most of the comments were about this, letting me know that you guys love it. You were also telling me to not go... One second, this lady's looking at me. So yeah, a bunch of you guys were telling me to not go overboard with this. Like, a little bit goes a long way, and I did take your advice. I feel like, yes, if you go heavy-handed with this, it could really feel like it's burning your face in a way. So I used very little. I blended it out onto the skin. It created a really thin like coat all over the face. I left it on for maybe like 10-ish minutes, and I swear to you, the way this makes your face feel is legit just how smooth your hand feels, or touch the smoothest part of your body. That's how your face feels after you use this. I think I used it average 2 times a week, and it's something that I like literally look forward to because I'm like, it's so good. Like, literally does the work that so many other skincare products do, but for a fraction of the cost. And it just really knocked my socks off my feet. Your girl is in love. This is amazing for texture. If you have like bumpies on the skin, or if you have acne prone skin, I think that you would really love this. It also doesn't dry out my skin necessarily unless you like go overboard, but like if you use a very minimal amount, wow. wow, I'm giving this a raving review. Next, I have this right here from Huda Beauty, which is the sister brand to Colourpop. This is the Coconut Overnight Lip Mask. So I showcased this in my Colourpop haul that I made about 3 weeks ago. It came with 3. It came with coconut, strawberry, and rose. I gave one to Emma. I think I gave her the rose, and I gave one to Rivka, which was strawberry. Just because after using this, I felt like I don't necessarily need to have all 3 on hand at one time, and also I wanted them to test them out too. But I really like this. I think it's nice. You do get a ton in here, 0.5 ounces of product, 15 grams basically. And it comes like in a jar pretty much. It's very hydrating on the lips. I feel like there are times that I go heavier with this and it just looks really nice and milky on, especially if I'm around the house. I do that sometimes. Or like if I'm out and about, which I usually don't take jars with me out. Like even like before I leave to go somewhere, I'll put a little bit, like a thin layer of this on, and I would say maybe like after half hour to an hour you kind of feel like you might need more, but I feel like the staying power of this is pretty good. I will say though, the consistency is pretty watery, so depending on your preferences, you might like this or might hate this. Like there isn't any like stiffness to this at all. Like there's all give with this. I think for the fact that this is so affordable, it might be worth to try. I enjoy it. It's different than anything else that I own, especially because of the consistency. It's not anything too revolutionary, but I like it. I think it's pretty good. Next, I have this right here from e.l.f. Cosmetics. This is the Flawless Brightening Concealer. I really like this. I got mine, I purchased this myself, and this I got in the shade Light 26N. So it comes like in a brush applicator. You just click it like a clickety pen, and it applies really seamlessly under the eyes. It's also pretty nice to cover blemishes with. I use this to the most part on more natural days. It kind of gives me, I would say, medium-ish coverage, but if you use a little, it could give you light, and if you go heavier, it could give you somewhat full-ish coverage, not completely, but somewhat. I used it a few times, and every time I use it, especially with a full face of makeup too, it just blends out like this, legit like this. I love the HD Flawless Concealer that e.l.f. has, but I think I kind of like this more, actually, to be honest with you. It's a new one by them. I would recommend it if you're looking for something, I would say overall medium-ish coverage. I think that this one right here is pretty solid, plus it is so affordable. Next, we have this right here from Colourpop. It's the at Foresight Raw Beauty Christie Eyeshadow Palette. I think that this is really nice. So here's what the palette looks like. I found that I was able to create a bunch of different looks with mainly these 2 rows. That's usually, like, to the most part what I focused on when I use this. This row right here was not my absolute favorite. I felt like the green especially was a little bit hard to work with and blend out, and it kind of always looked like someone punched me. I don't know why, but it looked like it was a bit much. I did like it on the lower lash line though, so it worked out well for that. Probably not my ultimate favorite palette from Colourpop, because I feel like I really need to be in a zone to actually wear this palette. Like, I don't see it as a 1, 2, 3 kind of palette for me. But whenever I do want to go for that specific look, or if I want to kind of switch things up and kind of use these and use these on the lower lash line and kind of have that look going for me, I think that this palette is really pretty. So yeah, if you were contemplating on this one, I feel like it does have a lot of versatility, and it is somewhat pretty unique, and you could do a lot with this. So there's my 2 cents on that one. Next, I have this right here from Pixi. This is the peach pout like lip balm. Well, the Colourpop Raw Beauty Christie palette I purchased, this right here was actually sent to me by Pixi. So I was really intrigued by this. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very cute. I love Pixi, but I will say this right here does not work like at all. It's supposed to be like a hydrating lip balm, and it barely applies anything on the lips. Legit, with this one, you have to go over your lips like 33 times to feel like, okay, hey, my lips feel hydrated. You know, it's a very stiff formula. Also, it does leave like a pinky-ish effect that works with your like pH level, and normally I hate when lip products do that, because I don't like how the pH level pink lip product looks on my lips, and it just looks a little bit off and awkward. So that's also why I don't like that, but that's personal preference, I guess. But in regards to quality, I will say that this is definitely not up there for lip balms. I feel like I'm a lip balm junkie, and this just did not cut it out for me, so I wouldn't recommend that. That is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I'm looking forward to reading what you guys have to say, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.